everyone. I am returning to a group which I have enjoyed immensely each time I heard it in the past, and that is the Bee Gees. I've listened to two of their pieces. I started to joke, and then, of course, the one which I always get mixed up on the title, and Vlad just reminded me before I sat down that it is called The 1st of May, although I always end up calling it the Christmas tree song. Well, today I'm going to be listening to Lonely Days. Lonely Days appeared on their album 2 Years On and was released as a single, becoming their first top 5 hit in the US, peaking at number 3 in the Billboard Hot 100 and reaching number 1 in the Cashbox and Record World charts. Lonely Days was written in 10 minutes. It was that quick. I was at the piano 10 minutes, Barry revealed later in 1998. A manager we had about 5 years back heard Lonely Days in a restaurant, and he said to a friend, "That's one of my favorite Beatles songs." And he was managing us. Well, I don't know. That sounds like something I would do. The song incorporated the innovative structure and knack for changing tempos exemplified by the second side of the Beatles' Abbey Road album. I guess I haven't listened to Abbey Road yet, so I won't recognize those similarities. Was released the previous year and a clear influence on this single. Lonely Days shifts back and forth between a piano and strings-dominated verse, reminiscent of You Never Give Me Your Money, and Golden Slumbers, and an up-tempo, stomping chorus that echoes Carry That Weight, perhaps as an acknowledgement of the debt as the record approaches its fade-out. The lead singer's voice is filtered to sound like John Lennon's. Okay, so you can't be too hard on the manager for getting them confused if they were really pushing themselves that close to Beatles style, but really, still.
Good morning, Mr. Sunshine. You brighten up my day. Come sit beside me in your way. I see you every morning outside the restaurants. The music plays so nonchalant.
interesting piece of music. It's so simple and so contrasting one section to another. Yes, the tempo changing, everything. As far as does this sound like a Beatles song to me? You know, I can hear a lot of Beatles influence. I can. Um, Actually, although it said towards the fade out, the lead singer's voice is filtered to sound like John Lennon's, it wasn't the ending that made me think so much that it could be Beatles, but more kind of the middle third of it was the point at which I felt like I could recognize most Beatley style. But I don't know. Maybe if I were asked to listen to this blindfolded for the first time and I had no clue what the band was, I might grab for the Beatles just because I'm fairly familiar with them, at least to a certain point, and I do hear Beatles influences, but at the same time, it has a distinct sound to it, at least to me. Now, again, that's having not heard the album that inspired this, so we'll have to leave that an open-ended question for now. Kind of a special song, isn't it? Let's go back and I want to point out a couple things that really stood out to me. Such an easy, relaxed opening. And then that little bit of harp there.
Mr. Sunshine, you brighten up my day. Come sit beside me in your way.
I feel like this would make the perfect pairing with something like Ned Rorem's "Early in the Morning," which also it's an art song, and it's typically accompanied by piano, kind of like this starts with piano. It's a gentle piece early in the morning of a lovely summer day. Oh boy, I don't know if I can remember all the lyrics word for word as they lowered the bright awning at the outdoor cafe, something like that. I was breakfasting on croissant and café au lait. I mean, it's the whole atmosphere. Of course, that Ned Rorem song is really setting the scene in Paris, and just eating your little breakfast out in the sunshine at some little cafe. But this too, it sets such a scene. And they're both morning themed songs. This one even mentions "I see you every morning outside the restaurants." The line I like, really, that I love on this: "Come sit beside me in your way." When does somebody invite the sunshine to come sit beside me in your way? Good morning, Mr. Sunshine. You brighten up my day. Come sit beside me in your way. I see you every morning. It's as if I am walking down the street on my way to work or something in the morning, and I meet a friend, an acquaintance. We pass each other or something like that, But, I see you every morning outside the restaurants. But it's an invitation to this friend, which I see every morning, to this morning, you brighten up my day. Come sit beside me in your way. It's such a sweet idea. I guess that's one of the things that I've noticed about the Bee Gees lyrics and their musical compositions, at least the ones I've heard so far, is that they come up with the sweetest little ideas in their music. And here's another one with such a sweet, charming, and not really. There's a little twist to it that I love. The same thing as, the Christmas tree song. When we were small and Christmas trees were tall. Now we are tall and Christmas trees are small. The same idea, kind of playing with some little idea. Good morning, Mr. Sunshine. You brighten up my day. Come, sit beside me in your way. And then we start a conversation. I see you every morning outside the restaurants. The music plays so nonchalant. Such a nice invitation. It's a gentle morning. It's an easy warming up in the sunshine because the music sets it that way.
Good morning, Mr.
Sunshine. You can feel the sun rays just soaking in and warming you as you sit on this bench outside.
Come sit beside me.
Little flute there in your way. That flute. Little shift upwards. The strings there. And as the strings develop, it talks about the music plays so nonchalant. And this tempo transition, it almost feels awkward. Like it's been flowing along so nicely, but when this piano comes in, I almost feel like I almost feel like saying, wait, you're not in time with everything. You somehow you spoiled the mood. Actually the mood is changing. So nonchalant. See, and now it's picking up tempo. And oh, okay, things are changing here. Stomp, 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 stomp. Oh, the brass. Dee-dee-dee.
Where would I be without my woman?
And as the buildings.
Where would I be without my woman? Lonely days, lonely nights. Where would I be without my woman?
It's rough, it's ragged, it's awkward, it's tromping, stomping. It's completely out of sync with Good Morning, Mr. Sunshine. And I suppose that's the point, because the question is, lonely days, lonely nights. Where would I be without my woman? I don't know. Is this somebody sitting there in the sunshine and then they start thinking about this? Or is this somebody who's actually experiencing missing somebody? I don't know. It could be, really, it could fit any context you wish to put it in, but this question, where would I be without my woman? It feels like, well, just as let me see if I can get the name right, the 1st of May, just as with the 1st of May, it's a kind of a sweet sentimental expression of affection between siblings, which I picked up on very strongly the first time I heard that song. And I was so surprised afterwards to discover that the Bee Gees were brothers. Anyway, so here, it's a similar thing. It's the expression of affection or or feeling affection, and not just affection, appreciation, desire for somebody, in this case, my woman, right? It's kind of set rustically, roughly, as a sort of musical answer to the question, where would I be without my woman? Well, I would certainly be rough around the edges. I love the way that the brass are so ragged and, just a little bit wobbly, garbly. Everything about it, even that plodding piano, chonk, 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 everything is just so unpolished. Is that what it is when you are without your woman and you are just feeling the need for a little more refinement? You're missing it? Well, maybe so.
Where would I be without my woman? Lonely days.
And then we come into this lonely days, lonely nights.
Where would I be without my woman?
That's more an expression of the loneliness. Lonely days, lonely nights. Where would I be without my woman? It's kind of swimming aimlessly without a rudder. It's the loneliness and the lack of direction, which then, when we come back to this Good Morning, Mr. Sunshine here, kind of changes the perspective. Is this somebody who's just woken up and he's going out to sit in the sunshine because what else to do? His woman is gone, missing. Is she on a trip, or is this perhaps a widower? I don't know, but it kind of changes what we feel when we come back to this Good Morning, Mr. Sunshine, doesn't it? But still, it's warm, it's peaceful.
Good morning,
Mist.
Mr.
You hear the cello rising up,
You
the strings,
brighten up my day.
bass there, the strings building side me in your And here we are back in this again. That brass is just great.
Lonely days.
Stomp, 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 stomp.
Where would I
And
be
the hand
without my
clapping.
woman?
And the
Lonely
piano.
days, lonely days,
And the
lonely
chaos
days, lonely nights.
of the voices.
Where would I be without my woman?
Where would I be? It gets crazy. It gets
Lonely days,
kind of frustrated, kind of
lonely nights,
explosive.
lonely nights. Where would I be without my woman? Lonely days, lonely nights, lonely nights.
And then the orchestra comes just sweeping in here. Actually, I guess hearing it the second time, I can kind of see what they were aiming for with the Beatles reference, because this all the voices kind of chattering one after the other after the other. I guess I've heard a few Beatles songs that do that, right? So I can see where they got their ideas from. But it's a sweet piece. It really is. So this is my I almost said first. That's wrong. This is my third song that I've heard by the Bee Gees. And I start to notice that every single one of these that I've listened to has something very small, some little detail that they pick up and handle in a special way. And the overall result is something incredibly sweet and, in a way, perhaps childlike. There's the beautiful relationship expressed in the 1st of May. There's the humor and the irony in I Started a Joke. And now here, Lonely Days. Well, it's titled Lonely Days. Maybe that should give me some clue as to really what the situation is going on here. Having listened to it twice just now, I do start to settle into this idea of this is a very sweet expression of perhaps what a widower might feel. You know, he wakes up in the morning and he goes out and sits on a bench outside and warms himself in the sunshine, and he thinks back to the life he had and his life now, and it's kind of his thoughts and his feelings being expressed in music. Expressed here, where would I be without my woman? Which means, in a way, he still feels her presence. And maybe he's thinking about, what if I had never had her with me? I don't know. It starts my mind turning in that direction. And I do think that it does make a great pairing with Ned Rorem's Early in the Morning. And if you've never heard that song, you should. I'll try to make sure that Vlad puts a link down in the description, and you can check it out if you're interested. So, well, there we go. Bee Gees again, Lonely Nights, another sweet treat for me, and I'll see you soon.